Now, the other issue to think about is like-kind exchange, Section 1031. I can't like-kind exchange a partnership interest. I have to do real property for real property. So if a rental is in a multi-member LLC, the entity has to do the exchange. One of the owners can't do it for their fractional interests.
Tom, on this topic, do you see a lot of partnership tax returns, 1065s, that are filed with properties, rentals being reported on the return, but where the entity does not actually own the real estate?
Yes, I see this all the time, and I'm asked about this all the time, as I'm sure you are. A lot of times people open an LLC, but the property is not in the LLC. And sometimes the cash doesn't even go into the LLC, right? So they have a personal bank account, they hold the rental personally, and then they get the cash, but then report it on a 1065. Or they do some hybrid, right? Where maybe the rental's in an LLC and they get the cash personally and they don't match it up. So Natalie, have you seen this in your practice? Any problems it's caused for anybody in particular?
Yeah, I've seen this countless times, but this ran into a big issue for a client with the 1031 exchange, where they had reported the property on the balance sheet and reported everything on the 1065 for years. But then the 1031 exchange was all done in their personal names because they legally owned the asset. They had never moved it into the entity. So now the reporting and how it could be reported on the tax return versus the actual exchange that was created didn't match up at all. So it created a huge problem.
So what I recommend is whenever you get a new client who has a rental activity, always look to see, one, if there's an entity, on the Secretary of State website, what the information is. Two, in the land records, who is the deeded owner of the property. Three, the bank account that the rental activity flows through, who's the owner of it? Is it the LLC or the person? And sometimes, unfortunately, you have to get a little creative and give some advice on how you can unwind when it's a mismatch. And it's definitely a challenging situation.